everyone, welcome back to Inspired by Taja. So my name is Tajalee, and today I will be sharing with you guys my H2B experience from the point of applying for a job to the point of getting my visa and entering the United States. So stay tuned. So I want to put a disclaimer out there to let you guys know that I did not go through an agency. All of this was done independently. All of this started from January of 2021. So what happened was I did not know anything about the H2B program, and I was on Facebook scrolling and I saw a post where some particular employers were seeking workers to come into the United States and work. So it's just regular employers who were seeking. They weren't specifically H2B employers. They were just seeking workers for the restaurant. So this particular employer, he had a restaurant and he was looking for workers to come to Wisconsin. So upon communicating with this employer and reaching out to him via Facebook Messenger, me and my spouse, I advised him that both of us would be interested. And he took our resumes and then he started reaching out to us individually, interviewed us, and decided that he wanted us to join his team. So there we were corresponding with this particular employer. He's the owner of the restaurant. So he was saying that we would need to fill out the DS-160 form as if we were applying for a regular B1, B2 visa. So we filled out that form. But then upon doing more research, we got to realize that it's not as easy as we thought. So what we had was to do, because he was in contact with his lawyer as well, and what we had was to do was to let him know that the requirements was for him to file a petition, because I asked around and persons are stating that if he doesn't file a petition, then he will not be able to hire you guys. So we were like, because it was all new to us, so we didn't understand. So once we figured out that it was not that easy, we started to research about this H2B thing. And upon researching on Facebook, what I did was I joined a couple groups as it relates to the H2B program. I searched it in the search bar on Facebook, joined a couple groups, and began getting, a little information about this H2B program. And upon doing my research, I still was not fully aware of all that the program entails. So it kind of just died down as it relates to us keeping up and trying to get a job. So it kind of died down because I was working, he was working. So we had was to focus on our jobs. But in the meantime, I would still occasionally check the groups to see what they post. But the interest wasn't 100% there. So fast forward to November of 2021. So what happened is that I started to take this more seriously, because I'm saying, I wanted to get through. So I started to take the researching more seriously. And that was when I went on Facebook, and then this particular group that there was a link for a WhatsApp group. So I joined that group, and everyone was sharing their experiences, as well as everyone was helping each other to see how we can find jobs. We shared some links as it relates to, and when I say links, I mean websites and how we can, find employers and apply, some of which I've shared with you guys in a previous video. So we went on, especially the DOL website. So we went on those sites, we searched for employers, and also we signed up on Seasonal Connect. So in December, my spouse was applying more than I was, because at that point, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go on the program at that time, but we definitely decided that he would be going. So while we were researching and we got the link for Seasonal Connect, not the link but the website, we went on the website, created a job profile for me and for him as well. As I stated, I wasn't really, applying. Maybe I would apply here and there 1 and 2 times, but not as much as how we were researching and applying for him. So in the ending of December, an employer from Seasonal Connect reached out to him in regards to a housekeeper position. So they set up the interview for the December 27th, and that was after Christmas. So he did the interview, and what happened was they set a second interview for come January. When it was time for the second interview, he did the second interview. They interviewed him, asked him questions about housekeeping. He had experience, so it was easier for him to get through. So he had more experience. He was a housekeeping supervisor at the property where he worked. Also, he has been doing housekeeping for some years. So they interviewed him, did the second interview. They liked the experience. They liked how he conducted himself in the interview, and they decided to give him a job offer. So that was January. He got the job offer from that particular employer. So at this time, I still wasn't applying. I was just saying, okay, he would be the one who would be going. And this would be January of 2022. So this would be the year 2022 that we're talking about. So in the H2B group that we were a part of, the WhatsApp group, so what I did was I shared the experience to let them know that my spouse got his job offer. So that was motivation for all of us, everyone who is seeking to apply. And then after that, person started getting their offers. And then I said to myself, why not apply as well? We decided that it would be best if I applied as well. And that was in February when I decided to start job hunting for myself. Because also, not only one offer did he get, he got 2 job offers. So while I was applying, it was definitely hard for me, I'm gonna be honest. So with my spouse, it was kind of easier because we were on Christmas break from work. So we had the time to, put our all into it for him, because he got that offer in January. And then the offer he got in soon after, the second offer he got, that was as a result of us applying during the holiday period that we were applying. So they reached out afterwards. So for me, it was so hard trying to, because reaching out to employers, and then because I was working as well, because I worked at a call center at the time. So because I was working, I could not have my phone on me. And by the time I should reach out to an employer, say for example, say I reach out to them via phone, it is so hard to do so, when I was at work. So what I did, I sent a lot of emails. I can tell you, I sent more than 100 emails. I sent more than 150 emails. And I went ahead and called a lot of employers as well, but it was still so hard. I went out on my break time at work and I called. I went at my lunchtime and I called, but it was so difficult to get through to employers because they put you on hold, and then because I didn't have enough time, then it was so difficult for me. What some of the group members did, because we were then transferred in a smaller group where we were like an H2B family. So what some of them did, because most of these persons got job offers. So what some of the persons did, they assisted me with applying. So they called for me, they called on behalf of me, they called for me, they sent emails. And when there was a posting or when there was a lead that they had, they shared it with me. And I thank them so much for that, because that was how I was able to land my 2 job offers. So how I got my 2 job offers, someone from the small H2B group that we were in, so because they were researching, but she had already gotten a job offer. So what she did was she sent it in the group though. She said she sent that a particular employer with a restaurant in New York, he was looking for some persons. So what I did was I quickly messaged her and I went out and applied. She sent me the information and I quickly applied to this particular employer. But I did not get a response for a couple of days. But nevertheless, for my other job offer, that was for a restaurant experience. So my other job offer was the housekeeping, which that was the one I ended up taking. So that job offer, how I came in contact with that was, I was at work and there were persons calling on behalf of me, reaching out. I was calling some employers, and a particular person as well, she was helping me, and she gave me some information, some numbers that I could check them out and call to see who I got through to. So I was calling, and this particular employer, I called her, and she said that she was full and she had all the persons she needed, but she said to still send my resume so that just in case someone do decide to go with someone else, then she can save that spot for me. So I immediately told her I already sent my resume to her. She did not respond right away either. So I was kind of still looking for other employers, because you can't have too many offers. But I didn't get the offers as yet, but I didn't have any positive follow-up from them. Also, my spouse, he had the second offer he was trying to refer me to that offer, but they advised that there were persons that they turned down, so they would offer the position to one of those persons. I applied to them, but it was too late because of the multiple applications they were getting. So I was not able to get that offer, even though he referred me to them. Also, while I was at work, what I did was I was checking my emails constantly. So how the guy from the restaurant ended up reaching out to me, it was a couple days after, almost a week, and he reached out to me saying that he would love to interview me, and he got my information from the young lady who referred me. So thankfully for that person, he was able to reach out to me and advise me the name of the person who referred me. So he set up an interview on WhatsApp, and I did the interview, and he was talking about the restaurant, the position I would be doing, and all of that. So he offered me the job basically, and told me about housing and when the visa process and all of that would start. So he mentioned that his lawyer was working on the final details. I think he already got approval. He was just waiting for the printout of the petition before he could start visa processing for the persons he had who was joining his team. After I did the interview with that particular employer, something came to me, because there was this particular person I wanted to refer. So something came to me that said, call him back and let him know that there's someone else you'd like to join the team as well. So I called him and I let him know, and he was saying that he didn't have the space. So I told him that that person and I could both share the same bed and all of that. So after talking to him and let him know the situation, he decided that he would take her on as well. So he advised me to send her resume, and from then he interviewed her and also offered her a job position. So after she got the job from him and as well, we were all just waiting for him to provide us with the documents or details so we can start the visa process. He does not work with an agency in Jamaica, so we would have to do the process individually. I was at work, I was waiting for this email, so I didn't get the email as yet, but what I still was doing, I was still following up with the lady, the lady who reached out regarding the housekeeping position. So I reached out to her, and she got back to me and told me that she would like to set up an interview. I did that interview and I was also successful, and she offered me the position. And from there, she advised me that an agency with whom they work with, he's in Mexico though, the agency is in Mexico, but she informed me that that agency will be reaching out to me as soon as possible to start the visa process. So now I was at the point where I had 2 job offers. So I was weighing my mind, who should I go with? What should I do? So one was in the housekeeping field in Michigan, and it was in Michigan, and the other for the restaurant, it was in New York. A lot of persons would have taken the New York offer because it's New York, and a lot of persons just gravitate to New York. So one was in Michigan, one was in New York. I was deciding in my mind, I was praying about it, I was thinking what to do, which of them to go with, and it was boiling down to the time where I would need to start my visa process soon for both the New York offer and for Michigan as well. So the guy for the restaurant, the employer, he reached out to me, and his lawyer reached out, and they stated that they sent the documents and everything with the petition and all that we would need to start our visa process. They recommended an agency in Kingston, but we decided that if we were going to go ahead and do it, we would do it on our own. I'm referring to all the persons who was in the group who was going with that particular employer. As for the Michigan offer, what happened was my information was sent to their agency in Mexico, and that guy reached out to me, and he asked for some information because he wanted to start my visa process as well. So I was at a place where I was deciding who should I go with. But after praying, after doing some research, I decided to take the offer in Michigan. And what I did was I reached out to the guy for the restaurant, and I advised him that I took another offer, because it's very important to do so, because you don't want to go ahead and have them thinking they have you on their team. You want to give them enough time so that they can replace you. So what I did, I referred my sister to go with the offer that I was not taking. She had the experience he was looking for. As I was saying, she had the experience he was looking for, so he decided to move forward with her. I actually referred two persons. I referred one of the persons from the group that's always helping, and I referred my sister. So because of experience, he decided to choose my sister to move forward with her. So after all of that, what happened is I sent my information to the agency in Mexico that was handling the visa process for the job offer in Michigan, and they required the information. They advised me that I would be the one who is doing the process. Basically, they filled out the DS-160 form online. Then they sent me the information. They added my email and advised me what I would need to do as it relates to dropping off my passport and print out of the petition and all the required documents to Kingston. I went ahead and did that as soon as possible. So I printed the confirmation page from the DS-160 form. As well, I had to take a picture of a passport size picture and send a picture of it to the agency in Mexico so they could upload that on the DS-160 form. So I printed that confirmation page, I printed the petition, my passport, and I took passport size picture, and I was ready to go ahead to Kingston to drop this off at the drop box. So it was a sealed envelope, as well as I had to print out, I think it was the courier page. So I had to print out a form and glue it or paste it on the envelope, so that, because that's a process that embassy uses. What I did, I head to Kingston as soon as possible. I dropped off all this information, and they advised I will be receiving a confirmation email and all of that. So when I came back, I let the agency know that I dropped off the information and all of that. I got the confirmation email, and from then and there, I could check my process, check to see if the embassy received the application and all of that. So this time it was in March. I think it was March 20 or March 21st or somewhere thereabout. It was in March where I started the visa application process. Start date is April 1st, that's on the petition. However, I kept checking with the embassy to see if there were any updates with my visa process. What happened was I was checking, it says administrative processing, and I was wondering, because embassy did not require an interview, so we just send our passports in, and if you are granted the visa, then it would be stamped and sent back to you. So I was checking, it was a week, it says administrative processing. I was still checking. I was so nervous, I was anxious. I was waiting, getting stuff prepared for him to leave, because he will be leaving soon in the starting of April, because it's April start date for him as well. So upon getting everything prepared for him, he was at home and he was checking the website consistently. So he checked and he saw where the status changed to issued. So he reached out to me, he called me at the same time, and he told me that I got it approved, because once it says issued, then it is approved. I also got an email stating when to go ahead and pick up the passport with the visa that's stamped. So that is my process up until that point. So I was so excited. So that is my process up until that point. but I will be sharing my experience with you guys up until the point where I got to the United States and the job and all of that. So just stay tuned for part 2 of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please ensure to like this video, subscribe, and share as well, so persons can you can bring awareness to other persons as well. So thank you guys so much for watching.